Hey, how's it going? Oh man. So I have soot. Okay, no soot. I was touching my lamp and it sometimes I get soot on there when I'm changing the candle. Pardon me. I don't know how, but I think I got sick again. Oh, ow. So, I wanted to talk about something that I keep forgetting to talk about. I've done it 2 times now. Started out to do a video and then about one thing, and then it's really never about just one thing, but I planned to start out on a subject, and then forgot. And then as soon as, like, the first time I forgot, I was like, I was like, oh, and then, like, my finger was, like, I was aiming to shut off the camera, like, to end the video. And then right at the end, as I was doing that, I remembered, oh, I wanted to talk about it, and then my finger hit stop, so never mind. Okay, I gotta tell you, like, my neck, for some reason, just whacked out today. I did not wake up with a sore neck. I didn't do anything to get the sore neck. I went to the store, and I used my motorized wheelchair, and when I do that, I put the groceries in the grocery bags hung on the headrest, because there's not really a trunk or a basket or whatever. So I just hang the bags on the headrest, and I thought maybe when I was taking the bags off of the headrest when I got home, they were too heavy, because a couple of them were kind of heavy, and from a seated position in a different wheelchair, I was taking the bags off of the motorized one, so I thought, oh yeah, that angle was pretty bad, and then I remembered, oh wait, it was hurting before that. And so I'm wondering if it doesn't have something to do a little bit with what I'm going to talk about, that my neck just all of a sudden started hurting today. Like, not just hurting, but cricked, like, pretty bad, and I kind of can only turn my head a little bit. It wasn't like this all day. The first half of the day, like, 8 hours, well, that's like the whole day, so like 3 or 4 hours, I'm up. And I'm fine, just, I did not have this problem that I'm experiencing right now. And it's just weird that it's just all, I'm struck. I've been struck. I don't think it's a curse. So, but it's definitely not from pulling the heavy bags off the back of my chair. And it was hurting before that, so it's just mysterious. Okay, so the thing that I was forgetting that I wanted to talk about was, I'm gonna talk about it because I'm wondering if other people, like, I know I can't be alone in this, if other people haven't had, like, a lifetime where they felt like they couldn't fully express themselves, like someone was always shushing. Here's my experience: someone always shushing me when I was a child, or once I start trying to tell people what I'm trying to say, they're like, oh, that's just silly nonsense, and they, like, stop listening and leave, and it's like, well, how do you treat a young child like that? Like, of course that's how a child speaks. Don't just wander, don't just dismiss it. So I personally have felt like I have experienced a lot of that, and what I did, especially because I was a child, and in my family at that time, here was a real saying: children should not speak until they're told, or should listen and not be heard, or just all kinds of things that were basically, you shut the fuck up until I tell you to talk when I'm ready to hear your nonsense. That's how I've always heard that. Children should be seen and not heard. What I'm a paper doll? What does that mean? So, I mean, I get it as an adult now, kind of why they wanted to quiet me, but just like always, but then seem to extend beyond like the personal orbit, you know? It's like, I don't know, like people just, I feel like, have always thought that they felt it was perfectly within their right to tell me to be quiet and to stop talking, and like you, then just like, I don't know if you can tell, but like that does not sit well with me. But I just have had to kind of yield to it, because if I like just let loose and did what I want and said what I want, even though people are saying don't do that, like if I stopped listening to them and just said what I wanted to say the way I want to say it, and not restrict or censor myself the way I always have, I just feel like I would feel so much better about myself. Like, nothing that I was being prevented from saying was catastrophic, I don't think, unless it was I somehow like hit a nerve with people. But how? Like, as a child, how the hell would I know about any nerves of anyone? I don't know. It just feels like a weird dynamic in my life. And then I know it's a thing women experience, and females experience it. Like, I don't know. I mean, I thought it was just about everyone, but apparently I was told by one person recently, well, that never happened to me. And I was like, whoa, goody for you. Because that's not been my experience. And when other women do it, it's even worse. And it's mostly been other women. So what I'm getting at is the not expressing myself, I think it might be leading to physical problems. And so something did happen today, and I thought it was one thing and totally flipped the flip out, but I think it was actually something that I did. And so, so that happened, and then I figured out like the problem, and then was like, oh, that was me. But I think the stress that it was for a second, or not a second, for a few minutes, well, maybe longer, maybe it took a couple of hours for me to work out that it was something that a mistake of mine, and not the other thing that I thought it was, which that's what really stressed me out, was because I thought I lost a bunch of money, like hundreds of dollars, that, I mean, I had to just go look. You had the presence of mind somehow to take out, like, my phone bill got paid. It's weird, like, my debit cards were not working right. Like, one of them was acting like it was locked, and I was like, I locked it one time and swore to never to lock it again. So much so that I don't keep the app on the home screen so I don't mess with it at all. Like, anyway, I thought that someone else besides me had gotten access to my money, which has been a concern in the very recent past. So I was like, oh, not this again. I thought I took care of that. So when I thought all of that money was gone, it just, like I said, I was glad I already paid my rent. I already got like money for a bill and something else that I need cash for. Wink. I took that out and put it aside, and damn, a couple of times I had the option to take money out and I didn't. But it's probably a good thing that I didn't, because I forgot that I did make some larger than normal purchases. One more time, purchases this month, because it's, Christmas month. I didn't go crazy. I can't go crazy. I don't have the capacity to do that. I went just a tiny bit nutty, just a little bit. But I actually bought something for myself that I've been, whenever I need a thing, especially if it costs any amount of money, which this actually didn't cost that much, but it just came in a month where I had other purchases, and I thought that the person that had hacked my phone and had access to the account where my money is on had messed with it, and they have messed with it before, but never touched the money. So when I tried to use it and I couldn't, I thought that's what it was, and that's what stressed me really out. Because I was like, oh my God, that guy was a nightmare to get out of my phone. How is he? And then I did some breathing, and I realized, okay, look, you took care of your basics. It doesn't, like, have anything to do with your food budget. I did get food for the cat, so really all of the basics are covered. And the purchases that I made, I needed them. They're not like fluffy, frivolous things. And so when I added up all of the purchases and then all of the incidental little fees and, like whole number dot, cents or whatever, or like hundred and so, I don't know. I'm not really articulating this very well, am I? But that I finally like worked it all out, and I had to do like breathing, and like just calm down, slow down, meditate, stop just going crazy right at first. Like I really would. I guess I am learning to, because I had one little outburst online where I talked about it, and I wish I hadn't, because I am wrong. I was wrong, but they'll never know. Nobody watches these. It doesn't matter. It's better that I was wrong. And it's all going to be fine. Like, it's all going to work out. The only thing is I will be missing a couple of streamers this month. But that could change, I mean, it is my birthday. You never know. I mean, I have gotten like 20 odd bucks on my birthday just as a single person here, where I don't really know people, where I didn't grow up, and I don't really have friends. Like, I didn't go to high school here, so I don't have that friend base, But somehow, like, it just arrives when I need it. So also, I probably need to like not be paying those particular streamers, because I think we're supposed to be boycotting those right now. I'm keeping Netflix because the the payment went through, and they're gonna have Warner Brothers. They're gonna have like HBO Max, which we're not supposed to be. We're supposed to be boycotting that. So check, check and done. Okay, getting back to what I was saying though. I think connected to the frustration of feeling like I can't freely express myself, even after all this time, is like I just keep waiting for me not to feel the need to not say how I wholly feel. And I don't know how to explain this, because I'm not saying I want the right to just chew everybody's head off and curse. No, I can already do that. I don't want to do that. It is like, I get excited about stuff and I want to talk about it, and I want someone to like interact with me on that same excitement level, and I rarely meet someone that is like going to align with that. So that is what I have to turn down all the time. Like that's what it feels like. I have to turn down like this vibrating, vibrant, bright part of my personality that wants to, like, I guess jump out at you, but not like actually touch you or anything. Like, ew. It's not like that. But you know what happens is, like, when I have let myself be how I feel is my full self for just a little bit, is people think I'm hitting on them. Like, they think that my affection for them, like, I might like someone because of their talent, of their personality, like they make me laugh, or they can do something really well and I just think it's so cool. No, they think I'm hitting on them, and then, like, everything changes. It's like, it's not the best way to find out someone is, like, completely uninterested in you, even though, like, the times that I've found out that way, it has been like a surprise because that wasn't where, like I said, that was not where I was coming from. It wasn't about having a crush on someone or hitting on them. It was just, I don't know, you can't be excited about your friend? Like, I guess not the way I do. So that's another reason I tend to just like reel it back in, don't let it out too much. And that makes me sad. Like, why can't I just be enthusiastic? Why is it such a turn off? I don't get it. So, I think I just have to figure out how to tune myself so that I can create some type of an outlet that doesn't cause me to be backed up like a sink, like a plug sink. Because I feel like everything was working earlier, and then I ran into like a blob of frustration in my life and seasoned it with a little bit of, oops, I did that. But the initial thing was like, somebody took that from me, and I have no power to do anything about it. And I kind of realized when I thought that, oh, wait, I have no power to do anything about it. Don't waste your time. So, I mean, I think that's where I got, but I wish my neck would catch on. Because I can hardly turn my head right now, like, right here from front. Right here, running into pain. It's going to get worse if I try to go further, so I'm not going to do it. In fact, what happens is, it turns into a spasm of, well, it's not a spasm, I get stuck in that spot, and it's just all, so I don't want to do that. I had a heating pad on. See, I can't even do this. It's over there on the floor, out of the way. I may grab it again. I took it off to put some, salve. Because I'm 1,000 years old, I want to put some salve on my sore bone, my aching bones. Some CBD paste or whatever. And it actually loosened it up quite a bit, so... And that's good, because the heating pad is awkward to try to hold it on your neck or your shoulder, because it doesn't... If it was shaped like one of those sleeper pillows, that'd be amazing. So, okay, I pulled a card from the Declarations of Mary Magdalene deck. Sorry, I went blank for a second. And it's like the perfect card. It reads, "My true voice shall be heard through the women of this world once again, for I am, and thou art too, Mary Magdalene." So I don't know if you realize that, like, Magdalene is not part of her name. I mean, it is, but it's like, it's because she was from Magda. The place she was from was called Magda. I just learned that. But it does sound like kind of a pretty name, I guess. I thought it was a name. But, I think about that, it's like, the Mary exists as a real person, but also as an archetype. So that is why I said, like, I feel like other women will understand that suppression of speech and expression, because getting too emotional, or, oh no, now you're crying. Hey, crying is not always whatever a dude thinks it is, because for me, like, it happens in so many different ways. It's like, well, what do you actually think you're insulting me on here with the crying? Is like, I don't know. People get weird about the crying, and dudes get real weird about it. It's like, it's not like a venereal disease to cry. It's not against the penal code to cry. Ow! I guess I get a twinge for a bad joke. Okay, so, So anyway, if Mary's an archetype, then aspects of her as a woman are experienced by women today. And the reason why that makes sense to me is because of the Bene Gesserit sisterhood in Dune. They hold within their, I don't know, I can't remember right now exactly how they referred to it, but it's basically cellular memory, like genetic memory. Except that with the aid of spice, they can remember it. Like, it's not just there encoded into their biology. They can access it and interact with it, which means earlier versions of their line, of their ancestral lines, and then, when they're interacting with them in those memories of those times, it's almost like time travel, because they can go there and interact with the memory person and in that person's world and everything that was in the world. Like, you're just there in that person's time, so it's like time travel. Crazy. I love that. But I feel like that points to like what is meant by archetypes, because it's not just something that we learn about or that we can aspire to or that we accidentally behave like. It is like something kind of encoded in womanhood. I wanted to take this opportunity to allow you to look at my signs, and particularly the part that says that this is opinion commentary. Nothing is required from you to believe it. I'm not asking you to. It's just my opinion. Don't have a cow, man. So, my true voice shall be heard through the women of this world once again. And that makes me happy, because in the United States, and I would think the rest of the world, because this is sort of a archetypal behavioral pattern that I think is happening, is women are sick of being treated like lesser citizens and demeaned and diminished, and we want to say, without being edited or shushed or otherwise quieted, what is on our mind. And who cares how silly it sounds? Let us finish. Probably there's a point that'll mean something when we get to the end of it. You gotta just shut up and let us say it. Let us get it out. Dingus! Sorry. No, actually, I'm not. Sorry for that. So, my point is through, like, my true voice, like, what I really want to say, damn it, let me say it, shall be heard through the women of this world once again, which seems to indicate that there was a time where people listened and gave a crap what we had to say, and I know that's true in a lot of indigenous nations. I don't know if it's still true today. I think there's a couple. I'm not sure. I don't know about all of them. I'm pretty sure there's a couple that are still like pretty matriarchal. But pretty much the rest of the world is like has been running on a patriarchy, hierarchy system, and look how well it's working out for us all now. And it's not just women that are sick of it. It's like the divine feminine in all of us that are being, like, in some way oppressed and suppressed and otherwise edited. Men, get off of us. We are sick of that crap. And it feels like, there's like a teeter-totter happening here, or a war of the balances to see, like, how is the world going to work out? Like, I don't know about you, But the one where everybody hates each other and is mean to each other and stingy and like vengeful and just spiteful, like just mean for no reason. I don't want to live in that one. I like the one where it's nice and it's fun and stuff gets done. I'm not saying like everything's gonna draw to a halt, but can we like give each other a break? Can we just be friends? Look, why can't we? I can't sing it. I mean, I can. I have the physical ability, but why can't we be friends? It would just. I think it would just be so much easier than as much. If you're gonna expend energy. If I'm going to expend energy, like, it just feels better to extend happy energy, exert happy energy. What did I say? I don't remember now. It had to be one of those two words. I can't think of what else would work in context of what I was saying, which, of course, now I don't remember. That's okay. So, I guess, it's not that it wasn't something that, well, I'm okay, let me just say, it's not that it was something that needed to be said, although for me it needed to be said, and I suspect, as I keep saying, there are other women, people that have felt that way and just like, look, we just want to get on with it, right? We just have something to say, and then we can move on. Can we? But really, okay. I'm going to introduce another element, and that is, sometimes when I'm just talking to myself, thinking about, like, my country, the United States, and the way it is right now, it is like, it is a duality where, like, one side, it wants to be a team and be receptive and find ways to work with each other even when there's things that are not working for people, instead of just being team, hate everything and everybody all the time. You know, nothing can be said about a person without a negative description or, you know, so I kind of just want to move away from that sort of wall-to-wall, I don't know, just grumpiness, man. You're just a bunch of grouches and paranoids, always thinking people are out to get you. I want to live in the world where that's the last thing on my mind. That is the world I live in. I don't think, I mean, I know that there are people, like, because of my race, who would love to, like, eliminate me, let's say. But I don't dwell on that. That's been, like, trees in the world and the sun coming up and going down every day. That's not, like, something that I'm like, ooh, I can't leave the house. I gotta look both ways. As much as I can before I leave the house, to see if there's anybody out to get me. Like, I can't live like that. It will never hold up. I'm too silly. Look at me now. So, but that just seems like a better way to do things. Like, just a much lighter-hearted, and, I mean, I've made people that I know deeply dislike me laugh, and that made me feel so good. It's like, they laughed, so they felt something good for a minute. That is the world I want to live in. We can have disagreements, sure, but it doesn't have to be to the death, is all I'm saying. So, I think that I'm going to gradually, I think, for everyone involved, open the aperture on what I've been holding back, because it just needs to be out. Like, I promise you, there's no big deal. It's just like, no more shushing me, no more cutting me off, no more interrupting me and talking all over me. Like, that's over. You are going to hear what I have to say when I decide I want to tell you something. Like, if I'm going to take the trouble to go tell you, you should listen. I am taking the trouble to tell you something. I don't have to talk to you. That's all I'm saying. Like, and by the way, in no way forcing you to do anything. Like, I'm not like threatening you with violence or any other kind of threat. That's got to count for something. So, I don't know, people, I guess get ready. Maybe that's a part of, like, the rambunctious December, and it sounds like, 2026 is gonna be, like, riding a bull, too. Yippee! Get ready! So, I guess, so here's the thing that came to mind that I really, it seems kind of complicated, but let's see if I can just get it out. I have been more and more familiarizing myself with the oneness of being, and just, I guess it's the comet, or it's not really a comet, but the 3-1 Atlas flyby. It's definitely, like, sending us encouragement at the very least, but lots of other things. But part of the encouragement is, like, can you just be nice to each other? Can you think about, like, not killing each other can you think about, like, how about not having a war? I think it's giving us that kind of vibe, just to really, really, really dumb it down what it's doing. But it's helpful, you know, it's helpful in my whole, like, tinkering of myself right now, that I just want to accustom myself to less of what I have habitually done most of my life, which is resentment and blame and fear. And the last two I'm really having problems with. I have a drip. Hold on. So, the one that I'm really kind of having a intensive on right now is resentment. But that's sort of like, and I feel like that and blame are very closely related, attached even. But I learned a lot about blame, or to not be blaming, from a friend who, because they always were saying, you always blame me. It made me think, well, am I? Should I be blaming myself? And that is probably something we should all consider as far as blame goes, because blame is a two-way street. Pretty much everything is. If something happens that you feel like you can blame somebody else for, then the something probably happened because of somebody else, and I bet they got a take on the matter, and it might not be the same. It might not be the same take. So okay. It is hard to hold on to both of those things, or kind of any of those things, when you think of, like, the oneness seriously, or when I have been. I was in the middle of listening to something and thinking about it and something else that the thing I was listening to had brought to mind. So I was kind of not paying attention to the thing I was supposed to be listening to. But my mind was already preoccupied, and it just, like a water balloon dropped on my head, occurred to me, like, oh, I get we're all one now. Like, just all of a sudden. And I thought of, like, the mycelium pad that is in Washington State, that is huge, and I think it's doing a whole lot more than just growing mushrooms, than just being fungi. I'm not going to talk about that right now, but I think it's like an important part of our consciousness, the world consciousness of every living thing on it. Like, I think it's way more powerful than we even fully comprehend at this point. But not a bad thing. It's just part of it. It's part of everything. I think it's like a tempering agent in a way. But anyway, when I was thinking of the resentment and the blaming, I was thinking about that tease that, like, maybe your older brother will say to you when you're a kid, and they'll take your hand and punch you with it, right? Or use it to make you punch yourself or hit yourself, and then say, "Stop hitting yourself." I always feel like that's what our country is doing. Like, stop hitting yourself, dummy. We're doing this to ourselves. And I also thought, it doesn't seem to do any good to just call each other a bunch of names and get mad and point out, like, faults and judgment and, hold judgment over people. It doesn't seem to really do anything to change what everybody's kind of upset about. And then right in the middle of, like, thinking that, the water balloon came down, and I saw in my mind this underlying illustration of consciousness. And by underlying, I saw, like, each person on, like the seat of life, sacred geometry. Each crossing point is like a nodal point where a person, but like a much bigger one with many more facets than, like, enough facets for all of the people, just all of the people. And so those nodes, those facets, are connected by lines in the illustration of the seed of life, or flower of life. Is it flower or seed? I think it's flower that I'm talking about. And it's like I was saying a little while ago, it's like a spider web or like a water bed. I feel like one part of it couldn't be disturbed without the whole rest of it feeling the disturbance to varying degrees of proximity. Like, real close, they're going to get shaken up. The further removed they are, the less shaking that they're going to feel. But everyone on a waterbed or a spider web is going to feel a disturbance in the force. So when I had the water balloon hit me, it wasn't either of those things I saw. It was kind of like the mycelium patch, but it wasn't that either. It was like all of the people in, like, the sea or the flower of life net situation, and that, looks like our lives, but also the other thing I was just describing. But like, say there's like a floor that all of that is, like, sitting atop. Underneath that is the consciousness of everyone that's connected all together, and it was like this flesh-colored pad with, like, little nubbies, I don't know if you've seen the underside of a sea starfish, but they have all these little suction fingers, and that's what it looked like. It looked like a flesh-colored, like a flesh-colored Band-Aid color, so like fleshy pink, white fleshy pink, like layer, and then, like, all these little nubblies, and I guess the nubblies were attached to all of the nodes, which are us. So, but the thing is all of the nubblies were all on that one slab of weird stuff. And it kind of gave me a look at, like, what happens when one of us feels something, like feels hurt, feels anger, feels pain. And it also gave me a look at, like, okay, you're feeling that intensity there, but if you slow down and breathe and just like drop out of the racing mind of pain or anger, and try and get closer to like a meditative state, which you can do in a couple of breaths with very little practice. You might be surprised. And so you breathe a couple of breaths and you get a little calmer. What I saw was like the inhalation of the breath going into like the body on the flower of life node that was attached to the nubbly on the slab was getting calmed by all of the other nubblies around it. They were like absorbing the energies of whatever it was, whatever the upset was, and diluting it and then just like dispersing it to like nothing, and just like that's how it was getting disposed of, which is more efficient than I do on a just a personal level. Oh, come on. So, if one were to like unleash the full power that they've been holding back, or that they've been told to hold back, a person, you might not have to worry less about the effect that whatever the unleashing causes. Then like don't like let it bother you as much, because really underneath it's being calmed, it's being dispersed, it's being diluted. So what you're seeing up here, it's not nothing on the top side above the nubblies. It's not nothing. It's like you and me doing our thing, but something about the flyby makes it all, and then also like the consciousness underneath absorbing it and like spreading it out, so by everyone getting a little bit of it, it's not as intense. Where am I even going with that? I mean, I think I kind of made my point, weirdly. Oh yeah, so like, yeah, like, obviously, like, you know, whatever kind of politeness or manners are required if what you say does upset someone, but it shouldn't prevent you from saying it if it's not like yelling fire in a theater or some kind of asshole thing to say. You know, like, let's just be friends if we can. Here is still the theme. I just feel like we would all be so much happier. Well, I don't know. I guess I can't say that, because some people are at a stage where like they're real happy to be fighting and contentious. But okay, more tinkering for myself to just like find a way to absorb it and share it and disperse it and dilute it and make it not as harsh as it could be. And so that goes both ways. It's not just what I'm feeling like I'm experiencing or taking in, it's also what I'm sending out. So I guess really another thing to consider when just like opening the fire hose is you might temper yourself by thinking, like, if you can take the moment ahead of speaking or acting to think about what is going to be the effect of me doing this actually. Like, is this a good idea? Or if it's not a great idea, can we temper it or tinker it and mess with it in some way that, you know, both things can be accomplished. Like the expression can be had and given, and then also it's not a stress or a strain on the underlying consciousness with the nubbles. I guess just think about that. Golly, Miss Molly, that hurts. I'm gonna go. Thank you and good night.